guys, I'm Jocelyn. So I've been getting a lot of questions lately about breastfeeding. I am a stay-at-home mom and I've been breastfeeding for almost 15 months now. So I'm doing this video just to help those moms that are either soon-to-be moms or breastfeeding moms that need advice and help. Okay, so as you see here, I have a lot of supplies and products with me. These are the things that I have used that has either worked for me or has not worked for me. Every mom is different, so just because I'm using these and it has worked for me or it has not worked for me doesn't mean that it's going to work for you or it's going not to work for you. But these are just advice, so you can take to consideration. In the beginning, yes, breastfeeding was hard. I actually didn't have anybody to help me out about breastfeeding and what I should do, what I should not do. In the beginning, I had cracked nipples. My nipples were bleeding. It was the most painful experience I've ever had. Yes, I did feel at one point like quitting. If you are a mom right now, currently just starting to breastfeed and it's painful for you, I would tell you, don't give up. This is called lanolin. It helps prevent, relieve, and heal sore nipples. This is what they gave me at the hospital. If they didn't give it to you, you can also buy it at like Babies R Us or Target or Walmart. You can put it before or after you nurse your child. If it doesn't work and you need something stronger, one of my best remedies I actually use is your own breast milk. The best way to prevent sore nipple is to make sure your child's latched on you correctly. The nipple has to be inside the child's mouth fully. Okay, so what that means is that when you get the head of a newborn, you have to kind of like push it up and make sure that his whole mouth, the rim of his whole entire lip and top and bottom is around the nipple. So the top lip has to be over the nipple and it can't be tucked in. The top lip can't be tucked in like that. When you see a child's lip like this tucked inside over your nipple, that means you are latching him incorrectly. If you have low supply, the number one thing that you have to understand is breastfeeding is supply and demand. So what that means is that you need to latch on your child a lot. You need to nurse him a lot. So besides, latching them on a lot, there are some ingredients that you can eat and take and drink and all that. I started doing lactation teas, which I had bought the little tea bags at Babies R Us, and they have them and they're cheap, they're very affordable, and I would take them 2 to 3 times a day. If you take that lactation teas once a day, you're not going to see much of a difference. I recommend them taking in 2 to 3 times a day, maybe in the morning and maybe at night or even in the afternoon. After a few days of doing that, you will see a huge difference. There's also lactation cookies that are pre-made. A lot of flavors that you can choose from, and they're delicious. Besides lactation cookies and lactation teas, there are some little tiny ingredients that you can put in your oatmeals or your food or your smoothie. Flax seeds and chia seeds are one of the best seeds ever. They're delicious because they taste very nutty and very sweet. And I like putting them either in my smoothie or oatmeal, especially my oatmeal, just because oatmeal is also another thing that helps you supply a lot. And there's this one, brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast is a powder. It's a dietary supplement and it does help you produce a lot. I like to put it a little bit, maybe like a teaspoon of it in my smoothie, just because it's very strong, and when it's strong, it's not yummy. I do produce a lot of milk, I do. And I do store it. I do pump, and that's when I started pumping. As you can see here, I do have a pump. It's a single electronic pump. There is the regular hand manual pump, and there's double electronic pumps, and those are the number one thing I do recommend, and it is worth your money. The double ones, it is, just because as you start developing your supply, your body is gonna feel like, okay, if your body doesn't know when you're pumping and nursing a child, and if your body thinks you're nursing a child, when you pump, your nipples are gonna start leaking. So if you do have a single pump, I would say please try as hard as you can to return it and get a double pump, just because when you pump one breast, the other breast is gonna get irritated, and it is gonna think that you're nursing that breast too, and it's gonna leak both breasts. So double pump, I do recommend. I store them in bags. As you can see here, I have bags. I have Babies R Us bags, so you don't need an expensive thing. This is actually very cheap. It came 120 bags. Fills up to 6 ounces, but you can fill it up a little bit more. I do not recommend filling it up all the way to the top, because when you store it in the freezer, it's going to be hard to take it out and everything. But this is a very, very good bag. It's very thick. So just because it's Babies R Us brand doesn't mean it's not worth it. It is. It's perfect. I never had a problem with this. If you want to prevent leaking through your clothes, what I do is I use nursing pads. You can get them at the store. They're literally little pads that you can put that are meant for your bras, but they're, on your nipples. And what I do is I only use 2 pairs, obviously, one for each breast, and I can use them all day. The rest of my frozen breast milk, I put them in food. I actually cook with them. When Ezra was younger, I pureed it with his solid foods, and now I make them either in his muffins and cookies. I even make them with pancakes. If you're a shy breastfeeding mama, they do make nursing covers. I hope you guys liked my question and answer tutorial. If you have any questions, please do not be shy. Don't hesitate to comment below or send me an email at raisingezrahernandez@gmail.com. Say bye-bye.